Good afternoon, welcome back to another Coastie Explorers. Now, have we got a treat for you? We've come up to the northern New Territories, to Yuen Long and Ping Shan, to visit the Ping Shan Heritage Trail, one of my favourite places here in Hong Kong. Let's find out what we're going to get up to today.
Just a stone's throw from the metropolis of Shenzhen lies the timeless village of Ping Shan. Meandering around this ancient village, I visit the walled village of Shungchunwai, learning how the locals defended themselves from both pirates and evil spirits. I learn the significance of the ancestral halls and understand the importance of the Imperial civil service exams and study halls to the community. From temples to wells, communal halls to ancient guest houses, and traditional homes to a British-era police station, I'll absorb the history of the Tang clan and their journey of migration and survival in the hinterlands of Hong Kong's north.
And here we are, no better place to start than the old police station here at Ping Shan. Now, this was built in 1900, and it was Francis May, who was later Hong Kong governor, but before that the superintendent of police, who decided this would be the perfect spot for a police station. Like most of them up here in the New Territories, they were all on top of the hill, pretty much with 360-degree views of the countryside in what would have been just small pockets of villages all around here. This was a police station right up until the 1960s when Yuen Long opened. It then became, I believe, the dog unit and also was part of the traffic police until it was shut down. It's now the Tang Family Museum, so once inside you can learn all about the history of the Tang family, and why don't we do that now?
Here in Hong Kong's northern Yuen Long district, the area of Ping Shan stands out as one of the city's most historically rich areas, and it's all thanks to one family, the Tang clan. Their epic story starts with Tong Hon Fat, who migrated from Jiangxi province during the Northern Song dynasty. But the move to Ping Shan itself was thanks to his descendants centuries later. Originally part of San'an district and governed from Nantao ancient city, in the 12th century the 7th generation ancestor Tang Yunqing and his son made the jump from their home in Kam Tin, a walled village to the east, to the fertile land of Ping Shan, officially founding the branch of the clan we know today. The walled villages of the New Territories, like those built by the Tang clan, were a direct and effective response to pervasive threats from pirates along the coast and bandits inland. Walled villages across southern China came in all shapes and sizes, with notable round houses being common across Fujian province. In an era before centralised policing, these fortified settlements with their thick walls, watchtowers and iron gates served as a primary means of community self-defence, allowing clans to protect their families, harvests and wealth from raiders. Upon settling, the Tangs built a thriving community, 3 walled villages and 6 more, complete with gorgeous ancestral halls, a famous pagoda and temples for worship and education. The Tangs were predominantly farmers and government officials, farming the fertile fields of Hong Kong's northwest wetlands, surrounded by Deep Bay and the waterways that pass through Ping Shan. This all happened in what became known as the New Territories, which Britain leased from China for 99 years in 1898. Through all that change, the Tang clan's traditions weren't just preserved, they flourished. In 1993, the clan decided to preserve the history of the family, and today they continue to uphold centuries-old customs, making Ping Shan a living, breathing museum and an amazing chapter in Hong Kong's story, and a place well worth a visit.
Once you come out the back here of the museum, you can see the old, what would have been the housing quarters for both Indian policemen and also the Chinese constables. Upstairs would have been where the British officers would have stayed, and there would have been a stable block out the back as well. But looking out here, we can see the metropolis that is now Shenzhen. So we're very, very close to the border here, just a few kilometers away. And you can see way back when police were monitoring the border area, when it was still British governed Hong Kong, you could have seen people migrating or trying to get into Hong Kong from there. We'll leave that for now because it's time to start the next journey of our trail, going down the hill to find our first, I believe, a temple. But before that, an old haunted school, if we can find it. Let's go. Okay, so here it is. We found it, the Tat Tak school, or the remnants of it anyway. Opened in the 1930s down in the old village, and when it grew too big with around 700 students, they had to move to this new building here. Now it is said to be haunted, and it could be 3 different reasons. One, in 1899, after the lease of the new territories, there was a 6-day war. We're going to make a video on that later. Now, over 500 locals died, and some were said to be buried on this hill. So could it be those people who are haunting this site? Could it also be as a result of the Japanese invasion? We know they were torturing people in Hong Kong. Did it take place in this old school? And finally, the rumours are the headmistress killed herself in the toilets of the school and still patrols the halls in her red dress. Shall we go in and take a look and find out? No, I'm too scared. I'm going to go down into the village. Okay, so this is the village of Ping Shan Heritage Trail, meaning village or town. And there are 3 study halls on the Heritage Trail. We're going to go to 2 of them. One is around here, down this little alleyway here, but we're not going to go today. But if you do, try and get there. I've never been able to find it, so give it a go if you're here. The first real old Chinese building we have here is the Hung Shing Temple. And the Hung Shing Temple, this was built in 1767 originally, and then it was rebuilt back in 1866. Lots of renovation work have also been done in the 1960s as well. Now this is a temple to Hung Shing, who's widely worshipped, particularly by fishermen and people whose livelihoods depended on the sea and the waterways around here in Ping Shan. And actually every year the Hung Shing Festival is held on the 13th day of the 2nd lunar month. And right next to the Hung Shing Temple is this building. Now this isn't, I think, part of the Heritage Trail, but it's a very old building. And as we go in, I think this is still used as a home. They have invited us in anyway. We can see a nice, some sort of old Chinese painting at the end here with what looks like a deer. And then up here we have these wonderful tiled murals of different scenes of presumably different parts of China. This one up here looks very much like Guilin or somewhere like that. And right here, as we exit, we see 2 things that you see on pretty much every door of temples, the ancestral halls, and these are the 2 door gods. They were known as Menchen, and these are here to ward off evil spirits from the temples and the other buildings around. Now their story is quite interesting now. They were originally 2 figures called, both generals I think, called Ching Shu Bao and Yu Shi Jingde. Now they were loyal generals during the Tang dynasty, and according to legend, the Tang emperor tasked them to guard his chambers at night to keep away malevolent ghosts, and their images were later painted or affixed to these kind of doors as protective symbols. And all around China in temples today, these door gods are often seen painted or sculpted right here on the entrance doors. Their fierce expressions and warrior armour really emphasise their role as powerful protectors. And it's great to see that all of these are still here on all the temples around Hong Kong today. Wow. Okay, right outside the Motors Cafe, wonderful little drop if you're hot and parched, is this wonderful building, which is the Kunting Study Hall, with this marvellous car right in front of it. Always parked here, so you'll always get a good view of that. Now, the Kunting Study Hall, this was built in 1870 by the Tang clan for their young men who would be taking the Imperial exams. Let's go in, take a look and find out more about those exams.
For over 1,300 years, the Imperial Civil Service examination was the cornerstone of Chinese society, creating a unique merit-based system for selecting government officials. It was the primary path to power, prestige, and incredible social mobility. Candidates would undergo grueling, multi-day tests locked in tiny cells, where they were tested on their mastery of Confucian classics and their ability to write policy essays. This national pursuit of scholarly achievement was mirrored at the local level by the powerful clans across China. In Hong Kong, the Tang clan of Ping Shan exemplified this tradition. To ensure their continued success and honour an ancestor who had excelled in the exams, they built study halls like the renowned Kunting Study Hall. These were far more than simple classrooms. They were multifunctional community hubs. Here, young men from affluent families were tutored in the classical texts essential for passing the exams. But the halls also served as sacred spaces for ancestral worship, with altars to honour the clan's lineage, and as venues for community feasts and gatherings, strengthening social bonds.
This is one of my favourite buildings in the whole of the Heritage Trail. To think young men would have been here years learning in these rooms. We've got a table set up here of how it would have used to have looked. The ornate wood carvings all over. We've got some ones up high of the telling folk tales of the old stories. So 1870 this dates from, but boys would have been learning in here until 1905 when the Imperial Civil Service exams stopped. After that it was used as a police station, government office, and now part of the Ping Shan Heritage Trail. Wonderful place to come and visit. Do make sure you get to the study hall. And right next to the study hall is the Ching Shu Hin home. This would have been used as a guest house for people visiting the study hall here. Now, come here, this is what I like about it. We got double protection. So this is the outer door here, and there would have been bars that would have gone up into the roof and down to the bottom when the doors were shut with thick walls. And then we're inside and we've still got a bars here going into here. So even when you're inside this building, it's still really secure, because as we know, piracy was rampant right until the early 20th century, so people needed to feel safe, so heavily protected these buildings. Now this is the main entrance into the guest house. Beautiful. Now I believe these are different boards. I think this says civil and military examinations, so maybe this was held up when somebody had passed the exam. Do let me know in the comments if you know anything more about these boards. Wonderful circular entranceway into this really ornate courtyard here. I love these window grills here with the plastic moulding around, the ornate wood carving all around. We've got a wonderful balcony up here that you would have been able to see over the walls out into the countryside here in Ping Shan. And then presumably this would have been one of the bedrooms for one of the distinguished guests that had arrived, maybe to educate and tutor the students, or just visiting the Tang clan. Some old furniture, wooden furniture here, and even within this room we've got the bars on the interior windows and the bars here on the exterior to the courtyard outside, which is still within the walled compound of the study hall. I do like this one. It's like a little bit of a rabbit warren around here of different rooms. Beautiful again. Nice window grille there looking into the courtyard. And this always fascinates me. Look at the shape of this door here. unusual. It almost looks like a tooth or something. Do you know why it's shaped like that? Do let me know. And then around here, outside into another courtyard and through, we obviously have the kitchens and the quarters of the servants. Just look at these gigantic vats. The fire would have been blazing with 3 big pots with a chimney stack going up here. You can just imagine the Tang clan and all the boys learning for their Imperial Civil Service exams, coming in here, getting their food a couple of times a day and feasting on whatever the cooks are making. This is the 3rd time I've tried to film at the Ping Shan Heritage Trail. Twice before in the summer, and again I've come again in August, and it is piping hot, but I've got a new camera. It doesn't overheat as much. Do check out the Ramen Komachi when you're here. A wonderful little ramen shop if you're hungry. But this is my favorite place and one of my top 3 toilets here in Hong Kong. Toilets are very well looked after. You find them all over Hong Kong, particularly in these old villages. And it is the Hang Mei Chun public toilet. Just look at that wonderful circular entranceway. Always well cared for. You've always got somebody outside parking because they know it's such a good toilet. And talking about toilets, I might spend a penny. Right, job done. Now it's the time for the Tang Ancestral Hall. In fact, there's 2 just around the corner. Let's go.
Beyond their striking architecture, Tang Ancestral Halls were the very heart of the clan's existence. In the old days, they were multifunctional powerhouses. First and foremost, they were a sacred religious space. Here, rituals were performed to honour ancestors, their spirits believed to watch over and protect the living descendants. It was the clan's spiritual command centre. They were also a centre of administration. The elders would gather here to settle disputes, manage the clan's vast shared lands and finances, and make decisions that affected everyone sharing the Tang name. Today, their role has evolved, but they are far from obsolete, as they hold regular clan gatherings and still play an integral part of the community.
Okay, right outside the Tang Ancestral Home, I've noticed 2 things here. This was originally a flagpole that was erected for a Mr. Tang Po Sum, who was a successful candidate in the provincial examination. Do you remember I was talking about in the Kunting, a study hall, all about the pillars that were erected in villages across southern China? Well, this is what they erected. No flag there today, and presumably these are 2 pillars as well to somebody else or possibly to him, just to recognise their success in the Imperial exams. Okay, so right next door to the Tang Ancestral Home is this. This is the UQ Ancestral Home. It's right next door. Now, this served as a school back in 1931. In fact, Tat Tak school that we just saw around the corner, they were here for about 30 years. But this was built in the early 16th century, so 1500, so around 500 years old. It's got a little bit of history. This birthday tapestry over here. Now, this is not the original. The original is now in the Hong Kong Museum of History, but this was made for a lady's 60th birthday back in 1872. But it's famous because when the Governor Sir Henry Blake visited in 1899, just after the release of the new territories, this was in the background of the picture when he visited the elders here at Ping Shan. We've also got these lion dance costumes here. So if you've ever wondered where do the local Chinese keep their lion dance costumes, it's in this cupboard here. what I love about coming to these type of villages is you've got these narrow alleyways where basically you can touch each other from the apartments above. You've got the old drainage system down the middle to carry the wastewater away, and maybe even the clean water piped in as well. This is one of the oldest buildings here as well. Officially not on the trail, but you can see somebody still lives in it. And you've got these big wooden doors with the bars that are going to cross here to keep you safe from pirates. You've also got some windows still on the houses around here with the full metal bars. Right, let's head around the corner because there is another study hall. Ah yeah, check out this over the man-made drain here. Some local person has made this sort of very innovative little bridge into their property here with a couple of dragons either side. And here we are. If you are a regular watcher of Coastal Explorers or you just know your history, you know the key to any fortification or castle is the water source. So here is the well, 200 years old. This would have served this village and the walled village right next door. We've actually got some koi carp in it today. And then just behind, we have a very old temple. So let's have a little wander in there.
This Qing dynasty temple, about 300 years old, honours Hao Wang, a marquis who sacrificed his life protecting southern Song emperors. The temple also worships the earth god and Lady Kamphar, known to bless expectant mothers. Built in traditional Qing style with green bricks and a timber roof, the temple was restored after a fire in 2002. It still remains a vital cultural site on the Ping Shan Heritage Trail, symbolising the enduring spirit and history of the Tang clan and their community.
And here we are, the walled village of Shung Chung Wai, one of the few left in this part of the new territories. See a big gatehouse here. I'm sure you would have had a couple of guards in there. Piracy, a huge thing back in the 18th and 19th and early 20th century here. We can see we've got the posts in this one. So this is a nice way to show you that these would have come across at night, wouldn't have let anyone in. As we enter, we can see, there we go, little poster of the door gods there and a little shrine altar at the front to keep the evil spirits away. I love this little old village. We've got alleyways up and down here. And if we turn around, we can see right at the end, there is a shrine, which I guess, again, was to keep the people safe within the old walled village. Fantastic old grey brick, Chinese style brick here in the old village. And as I said, this is one of the oldest walled villages in Hong Kong. Get yourself down here to the Ping Shan Heritage Trail. Now inside this little shrine, people will burn some incense here, but we've got this very famous crocodile or alligator head here that would have been probably at the front of a dragon boat years ago. Now I've heard rumours that there were crocodiles or alligators in the waterways around here in Hong Kong. That's what I've heard on podcasts. But is it true? I can't tell that they're native to this area. So if you know whether crocodiles or alligators were native to this part of Hong Kong, write it in the comments below. Now, don't forget when you're on the trail, pick up one of these handy Ping Shan Heritage Trail leaflets. It tells you about all the buildings and you can pretty much pick them up in most of the big places along the way. Oh, right here we have the shrine to the earth god right outside of Chung Chung Wai, and right behind it, if you can see it, is an old moat. Now most of these walled villages would have had moats when they were built back in the 18th and 19th century. Just like European castles, fortifications, it was one of the safest way to keep people safe, not only from pirates, but also from tigers. Okay, we're here at the Tat Tak Communal Hall. So this was used for assembly, a meeting place for people, and they sort of governed the local villages from this place as well. This was built in 1857, and most famously used in 1899 during the Six-Day War of the New Territories, when the local clans rose up against the British lease of the New Territories. They met here just before the first battle took place further east. But a magnificent old building here towards the end of the Heritage Trail. And check this out, what a great place to end on the Heritage Trail. This is the Choi Sing Lau Pagoda, built 600 years ago by the 7th generation of Tangs here in Hong Kong. It would have initially been 7 floors high, but certainly for the past couple of hundred years it's down to 3 floors. Inside there's a shrine, and it was built as feng shui to ward off evil spirits in the area at the entrance to the old walled village. Back in the day, check out these photos of what it would have looked like on the edge of the water, looking out to what is now mainland China, in a beautiful open fields where farming would have taken place. Well, thanks a lot for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed walking, meandering along the trail here. Do get yourself here, whether you're a tourist or you live in Hong Kong, get yourself to the Ping Shan Heritage Trail. Just remains for me to say, we'll catch you on the next one. And don't forget to like and subscribe.